person that sells children it's evil.
It was nothing to wake up with black eyes and 4 or 5 ribs bruised, broken.
I think people feel like there are other people that come from other parts of the world through the airports that constitutes for trafficking, that we're like a pit stop and then they go somewhere else. No. Our children here in the United States are being trafficked.
He would beat me. He would scar me up. I was so scared to leave because he said he'd kill me. He would harm my family. So I was in fear for years.
The first one that the FBI brought to me, she said, Miss Lisa, I was sold for crack cocaine. And the first pimp that I was sold to put me in a strip club at the age of 9.
We need women like Lisa Williams because Lisa has been through it. There is a depth of understanding that she has about who these girls are. We are becoming more aware of this epidemic and becoming more aware of what is needed to uproot it. We all have a part to play in this.
Oh shit. She said my bribs. Well, anyway, today I want to be discussing pimps and prostitution. You know, I got a few files or a few articles that I found online from this past week. Today's July the 1st. So within the past week, these came out. So is prostitution a problem in the country? And that's the question. You know, I think it might be a problem. I don't even think it's a problem. You know, it's a problem when there's minors involved and there's kids involved and, you know, there's violence involved. But it is the oldest profession. So, you know, is it morally wrong? Probably not. You know, maybe in the eyes of you religious, but it's nature. You know, shit. They did a study where they taught monkeys the concept of money, and what do you know? The first thing they did was become entrepreneurs and begin to sell pussy. So it's nature, you know. But check this out, though. This is an article on the CalcoSnews.com. Alleged 16-year-old pimp identified. Now let me read this to you. A 16-year-old boy accused of forcing a 15-year-old girl into prostitution faces human trafficking charges in adult court in San Luis Obispo. Nico Anaya, a resident of the Central Valley city of Manteca, was the primary suspect in a multi-county human trafficking investigation that culminated with arrest in San Luis Obispo under Proposition 21, which passed in 2000. Prosecutors can try him as an adult. The forced acts of prostitution allegedly occurred between July 23 and July 28th. They took place in Santa Cruz, Pismo Beach, and San Luis Obispo. According to San Luis Obispo County District Attorney's Office, on Tuesday, San Luis Obispo police arrested Anaya and two 20-year-old Chico residents, Brianna de Morales and Fabio Betancourt Silveira. The San Luis Obispo County District Attorney since filed human trafficking charges against Anaya, Morales, and Betancourt, as well as 19-year-old Elijah Wolfson, also from Manteca. Details have not been released about Wolfson's role in the case. In addition to human trafficking charges, Anaya also faces a count of dissuading a witness by force or threat. On Tuesday, San Luis Obispo police received a call from Manteca Police Department stating the victim was being held in a hotel room in the 1800 block of Monterey Street. Officers responded to the hotel around 1:30 p.m. and found the girl alone and terrified. She had arrived in San Luis Obispo County on Saturday and had been traveling with Anaya, according to SLOPD. The victim was reunited with her family after police rescued her. Morales posted bail after her booking, and she is scheduled to be arraigned on August 12th. The other three defendants are due in court for arraignment on Friday. Shit, man. Now, Proposition 21, which passed in 2000 out in California, that's basically to target minority groups, minority kids that get lost, funnel them into the system, so they can go into that cycle of life and go into the penitentiaries, serve time as adults and pretty much fucking up their lives forever. How many youngsters have done some fucked up shit? I know I did some fucked up shit when I was younger, 14, 15, 16, 17, you know what I mean? And we all go through that era, especially when you grow up in the hood and you're around the wrong people and you really don't have a father figure, such as myself. But I'm not using that as an excuse, but I'm just saying, a lot of youngsters, they get lost, you know what I mean? They get lost in the system, and so I'm not saying what this kid did was right, but 16-year-old boy accused of forcing a 15-year-old girl. I mean, they're both kids, 16 years old. Shit, I didn't know what the fuck I was doing when I was 16. And he shouldn't be using force to begin with. And he shouldn't be pimping, but that's what Lil Wayne does, and he was probably listening to some Sugar Free, while he was whooping that ass. But California is a fucked up place to get caught up in, because they like to make examples of people, and they like to give you harsh sentences, so it's a lot harder out there. This is from the ArizonaCentral.com, azcentral.com. A Phoenix police prostitution nabs alleged pimp. Oh, wow. An alleged pimp who was trying to locate one of his prostitutes Wednesday afternoon was arrested as part of a Phoenix police sting operation. According to the court records, police officers pulled over 21-year-old Theon O'Hara Temple on suspicion of traffic violations police allege he committed when searching for one of his female prostitutes. She allegedly had been arrested as part of the same operation. Temple was detained on the 24th Avenue and Thompson Road shortly after leaving a nearby hotel. An underage prostitute who was in Temple's car at the time revealed that he was her pimp and detailed one particular date at a motel near 27th Avenue and Indian School Road. Police confirmed that a hotel room under Temple's name had been booked. The juvenile also alleged that Temple and another person physically assaulted her on another occasion, according to her report, and the pair bound her, struck her with a handgun with their bare hands, and then tried to drown her by putting a towel over her mouth and pouring water over her face. Injuries on the woman's body were consistent with the alleged assault. Temple was booked on suspicion of child prostitution, receiving earnings of a prostitute, and aggravated assault. He was held on $100,000 bond and scheduled to appear in Maricopa County Maricopa County Superior Court on August 6th. My God. Damn. These motherfuckers out here fucking disrespecting the game, pimping minors, waterboarding these little girls. Now I can't say I feel sorry for this motherfucker. They got a picture of him and he's all tatted up, trying to look like goddamn Lil Wayne. So I guess he gets his game from Lil Wayne. Oh Lord. Do not get your game from Lil Wayne. Do not get your game from rappers, because these motherfuckers don't know what the fuck they're talking about. And you can't go around slapping bitches, and you can't go around pimping out young minors, because you're gonna be facing life, and more importantly, it's just I don't want to say it's morally, because who's to say what's morally right, what's morally wrong, but it's unfair, you know what I'm saying? Because a young chick really can't make her own decisions yet. So, therefore, you are a predator. You know, if you gotta lie to the young girl and, you know, sell her a dream and say all this bullshit, and you can't, you know, she really can't see the truth. She can't really, you know, and you might be taking advantage of whatever situation she might be in, you know. She might be a runaway or whatever. And, that's not cool in the game, you know. So you gotta live with yourself, you know, and you gotta pay with everything. You gotta pay for everything that you do, you know, sooner or later, you know, and that's some foul shit if you're disrespecting the game and, you know, you're setting yourself up. So I would advise you to come up with your own principles, write down your own principles of shit you will and shit you won't do, you know, because as Rosebud said in his book, American Pimp, he said, why do we live with ethics, morals, or whatever? Because it's really easy to die without them. You know, it's really easy to fail if you don't have them, if you don't live by your own rules and you don't respect the game and you don't respect other people. You know, you gotta have respect no matter what situation, you know what I'm saying, enemy or not, or, you know, even as a businessman, you gotta respect your customer, you gotta respect your employee. You know, you can't be no gorilla pimp going around slapping bitches and pimping on young bitches, you know. It's just not right in the game. Well, anyway, to another case. And if you're gonna pimp, don't get the room in your name. Please don't be that stupid. This is a case involving a prostitute. You know, this is on deathandtaxesmag.com. Now, this happened about a week ago. You know, there was a John. For those that aren't familiar with the term John, Trick, he's the one that's on the other end, that's paying. You know, the party that's paying, that's buying the sex from the prostitute. Well, anyway, this prostitute or escort shot the motherfucker in the head because he pulled out a gun. She shot him with his own gun. You know, I guess he, you know, pulled out the gun on her, told her to get down. Once she got down, you know, she managed to, you know, once he got close with the gun, I believe she hit him with something. And when he put the gun down, you know, there's an interview. I'll put it on in a little bit. But once he put the gun down, she grabbed her real quick, turned around, just shot behind her. Didn't know if she was going to hit him or not, but she ended up shooting him in the head. And she killed him. And once the cops came and did their little investigation, come to find out, this motherfucker was under investigation for murders across the country. And he had a little hit list. And I believe she was the first one on there. And he didn't have any money, any credit cards, nothing. So he was staying out, you know, spend the night in his truck or in his van, driving around the country with an arsenal of fucking axes and hammers and saws and shit in the back of his truck, in his van. So I definitely believe he was going to kill her. But she got down and she did what she did, and you know, it was him or her. It was definitely not gonna be her, you know. And you know, I'm glad it went down the way it went down, because she does have kids and shit. Now I got a news clip right here of the actual interview. Let me play it for you.
Police in West Virginia seem to have quite the case on their hands. A man killed by a woman he attacked in her home may have been a serial killer himself. Mark Albert spoke with investigators who believe the dead man may be connected to murders in 3 states.
Police say 45-year-old Neil Falls was answering an online ad for an escort when he showed up to this Charleston, West Virginia home. This woman, Heather, who doesn't want her last name used, answered the door. She says Falls, armed with this gun, asked her live or die, and then started choking her.
When he strangled me, he just wouldn't let me get any air, and so I grabbed my rake, and when he laid the gun down to get the rake out of my hands, I shot him. I just grabbed the gun and shot behind me.
Heather ran out of the house and flagged down a neighbor who called 911.
She had to defend herself and she shot him. She's in the kitchen. He pulled a gun on her. She's got cuts and stuff all over.
Inside Falls' car, detectives found a machete, axes, knives, a shovel, and a sledgehammer, bleach, plastic trash bags, a bulletproof vest, and 4 sets of handcuffs. Now, police are investigating whether he could be connected to the murder or disappearance of 9 women across 3 states, Ohio, Illinois, and Nevada. Evidence found with dismembered bodies outside of Las Vegas, where Falls used to live, is similar to an item found in his car. And all the women were escorts, most of whom advertised online. Steve Cooper is with Charleston Police.
So it's likely that Mr. Falls is a serial killer. I believe she saved lives by shooting Mr. Falls, based on what he did to her and based on the items that were found in this car.
Police are not charging Heather for the shooting, which they say was in self-defense.
I knew he was there to kill me.
Authorities will enter Falls' DNA into a national database to check for links to other crimes. Falls was found with a list of names, ages, and phone numbers of 10 other women. All are still alive. Jim?
Mark Albert in our Washington newsroom tonight. Thank you.
That was it. And I believe stuff like this could have been prevented if, we had better laws to protect, these women. And, because they can't call the cops, and they can't really screen these guys, like if the guy would go to a fucking doctor's appointment, they got all his information, which, if this was legal, before she met with this client, she'd be required to have all his information and make sure this guy checks out. So, I do believe there's a hole in the system. There's a hole in the system. Like, that's why shit like this happens. We really need to find ways to eliminate these kind of problems, because the problem is the prostitution. That shit's gonna go on no matter what. The problem is the underage kids, the violence, and all the shit that comes with it, the bullshit. But all that bullshit could be prevented, with laws that regulate, this kind of shit. You see, in the industry, the females, they're treated as criminals when really they're workers. I mean, what difference is it's 2 consenting adults, in this business. So what difference is she from a masseuse, that gives you a neck rub, or a doctor even that provides, a service, gives you an operation so your back will feel better. These women, they're earning a living and they're making people happy. They're curing depression so that these motherfuckers don't have to take these fucking pills and become killers. They got a picture of this guy, and he looks like some professional kid. I mean, he's shaved. He's a white guy. He looks his age, 45. Looks like he could be a cop. You never really know, man. But yeah, like I was saying, I do believe that they should decriminalize, prostitution, and these laws that they have, to make, like the ones that they did, human trafficking. It's easy to. It makes it easier to catch violent pimps and and the wrong people that are abusing the game, and they're definitely using it for the wrong. They're on the wrong side of it. But there needs to be protection, for those that are doing the right thing, and who's to say who can live their life how? I mean, they can do whatever they want. If that's what a woman wants to do, then that's what she can do. I mean, that's what she should be able to do that. It's her body, and no one's being hurt. She's not hurting anybody. If anything, she's spreading love. So yeah, if it was legal, then they'd be able to screen these people better, or maybe work out of a brothel, such as they do like in Germany and the Netherlands, and I believe even in Italy, which is kind of crazy, that prostitution is legal in Italy, since the Vatican is in Italy. Isn't that kind of like running a brothel next to a church? I don't know. That's kind of I find that kind of weird. But that's my view on this prostitution shit. I believe that it should be decriminalized, and women should be able to work in cleaner environments, not out of a raggedy motel room. Because not all hookers are high-end quality. There's some that they're just the girl next door, just a regular woman, trying to make some money. They're not all models, so they can't all afford to work out of a high-class hotel. But they should be able to work in a safe environment, away from sick fucks like this motherfucker, Mr. Neil Falls. This is a case that's out on came out on the Detroit Free Press, July 1st. It says fatal overdoses reach record levels in Michigan. Deaths from drug overdoses in Michigan have reached record levels, according to the latest data from the Michigan Department of Community Health. In Michigan, 1,533 people died from drug overdoses in 2013, up 18% from the previous year. Prior to 2013, fatal overdoses in Michigan were steadily declining from a peak of 1,416 deaths in 2009. Heroin overdoses deaths in Michigan have increased nearly fivefold since 2002. A total of 225 people died from heroin in 2013, up from 46 heroin deaths in 2002. Opioid pain relievers such as Oxycontin, hydrocodone, which is Vicodin, and methadone remain the most common drug in fatal overdoses. 233 people in 2013. There were 956 deaths that were unspecified or caused by other drugs. In Macomb County, the number of heroin overdose deaths jumped from 61 people in 2012 to 94 in 2013. There were 1.1 heroin-related deaths per 10,000 residents of Macomb in 2013, the highest rate among counties statewide. The growth in heroin-related deaths among Michigan residents mirrors a national trend of increasing heroin use and overdose. In the U.S., heroin-related overdoses nearly quadrupled between 2002 and 2013. Heroin use is increasing across the board, but especially among women, higher income groups, and individuals with private insurance. Individuals addicted to opioid pain relievers are 40 times more likely to be addicted to heroin. Prevention measures offered by the CDC to combat heroin abuse and fatalities include reducing prescription painkiller abuse, increasing access to medication-assisted treatment, and expanding the use of naloxone, a drug that can help reverse an opioid overdose. Now, I believe that, a lot of this shit, like the the pain relievers, which is the highest, 233 deaths. 33 deaths, right above heroin, which is 225 deaths in 2013. It's probably higher right now. But I believe a lot of that, man, is, the industry of death. I don't know if you guys watched the documentary. It's called Psychiatry. I think it's called Psychiatry, the industry of death. Because psychiatry, you go see your psychiatrist and he basically prescribes you drugs. So he's basically a drug dealer. He gives you drugs for illnesses that really don't exist, for shit that they make up, like depression, and there's clinical depression and shit, but a lot of times it's shit that you can fix with just going outside and running, you know what I mean? And it's not real depression, but you go and he doesn't give a fuck, he just wants the money. Give him $100, you know what I mean? Pay him, you know what I'm saying? He's trying to sell drugs, and these fucking companies, they're the biggest drug dealers, man. It ain't all on Chapo, man. So y'all need to quit fucking lying on my nigga Chapo. My nigga Chapo was really cleaning up Mexico, and cocaine deaths, it's 46 deaths, you know what I mean, compared to 233 deaths, you know what I mean, for pain relievers. So that's about what, five times more, nearly 6. I mean, shit, that's crazy. Who's the real killer? Who's the real gangsters in the country? You know what I'm saying? It ain't Chapo. It ain't the drug dealers on the corner. You know what I'm saying? It's the drug dealers in the offices. The ones that wear the suits, the one that wear the, wear the white coats and the tie and clean cut. Those are your real drug dealers, man. Those are the ones that are really killing people, not only feeding them drugs, but also fucking them up in the operation rooms, and who's protecting these people? They're being protected by taxpayer dollars, So I believe we definitely need to get stricter laws, man, prohibit these drug dealers from killing everybody. Because they're really the ones that are killing. Now this is some data from the national, not just from Detroit. I got this off the drugabuse.gov page. Now, the national overdose death for cocaine in 2013 was close to 4,000. No, actually, it's a little bit over 5,000. Close to 4,000 is males. The amount of males that died off of cocaine. And the amount of females, it was significantly lower. It was just around 1,000. And for the overdose on prescription drugs, it was about 5 times higher. It was right under 25,000. I really can't tell the exact, because of the chart, but I can see the colors, on the chart right here. Is right under 25,000. That's in total, in the country for prescription drugs. And males, it was right under 15,000. Females was right about 10,000. So, yeah, people are dying 5 times, 5 times faster by, prescription drugs that are being prescribed by so-called professionals. Shit like this shouldn't be happening. If they're professionals and they're giving, they should know their job. But then again, people are hard-headed and they don't know how to handle shit. But with heroin, the number's a little bit higher than the cocaine. It's at about 9,000, right under 9,000 for 2013. And again, the male number of deaths is higher. It's about 7,000 compared to 2,000 for females. So this is for nationwide. So yeah, man, I do believe that America has a drug problem. You know, they try to label, you know, that drug dealers, blame it on the drug dealers. Well, I believe that the drug problem, you know, a lot of it has to start with prescription. You know, a lot of people, you know, kids when they're younger, that's how they start out, right? You know, taking their parents' painkillers or oxycodone. You know, that's the real gateway drug. You know, they try to say marijuana is the gateway drug, and I believe that's bullshit. Hold on. I believe that the real gateway drug is, you know, the hydrocodones and, you know, all this shit that your mom gets prescribed by her, you know, psychiatrist or, you know, her fucking doctor. You know, it's a lot easier to get. You know, you go in people's restrooms and, you know, I hear people getting fucking high off fucking NyQuil and fucking Dayquil, you know, and once they get, you know, addicted to these pills, these opiates or whatever, then they go look for the real shit. You know, once they get addicted to these uppers, you know, such as Adderall, and then they start looking for the real shit. You know, they're like, fuck it, let's go get the real thing. Let's go get some cocaine. Let's go get some meth. You know, once those things are offered to them, then they're pretty already much familiar with the high, so they can accept it more. You know, you know, it'd be different if they never tried any drugs, they never had any uppers, no downers, and then somebody comes to them offering them some hard drugs off the street, you know, from some shady character or whatever. Then they're not gonna trust him. You know what I mean? They're gonna be like, hell no, you know, I'm not gonna fuck with this shit. But if they're already familiar to the highs, you know, and then somebody offers it to them, then, you know, they're more susceptible to, you know, to saying yes, and they're gonna accept that shit. They're gonna be like, cool, let me try this, you know. And I believe that's how drug addictions are built. You know, they're built in the home, you know, with the fucking parents' drugs. So, you know, you can't tell your kids not to use no drugs when you got about 50 prescription. Well, maybe that's exaggerating, but you got a bunch of prescription drugs that you take. You know, you're just constantly popping pills. You know, that's just what I believe. But anyway, that's the end of the show. It's my first episode. It's Big Neno, you know, broadcasting live from Kansas City, Missouri. I don't even have a channel yet, so I'll let you guys know on the second episode I'll have one. I just decided, I said, fuck it, I'm about to do this podcast. You know, I've been thinking about doing it, but I'm always like, shit, it's not right, the time's not right. Well, guess what? The time's never right until you do it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I know I'm all like stuttering, because, you know, I'm not that fluent in this shit, because I really don't know what the fuck to tell you motherfuckers. I really don't have an audience built yet, so I really don't know what my audience wants to listen to. So I'm basically just freestyling, you know. But on the second one, the third, fourth, hopefully, you know, I'll be more fluent with it, and I'll know what to talk about. I know what y'all want to hear, and hopefully I'll have a phone number so y'all can chime in and discuss, and you know, I can answer some questions or something. So thanks for listening to the first episode. There will most likely be a second and third. You know, show some support. By the second one, I'll have an email ready, and I'll have a YouTube and an iTunes account ready, you know, so you guys can subscribe to. But if I already do, if you're listening, if this is the first episode that you're listening to, and I already got that down. So if I already have a account that you're listening to this on, subscribe to my shit. You know, I'd appreciate it. Send me a review or something, email. That's it, man. Y'all have a good night. Thank you for listening.
Come on. Let's do it. What it is. This is what it is. Yeah. Another knocker. Kick this game around like soccer. Pull up But chill, let me make you a play to this game that's seasoned like a tasty steak. Since 8 to 8, I've been serving them well. I was serving Yale when L was rocking bells. Clocking mail, getting it, copping it, flipping it, flipping it. Now I'm spitting it bar for bar. European whipping it, car for car. No doho, you know I say no. I need you like Jaws need a raincoat. I fandango, stay high as a star spangled. Choke the blood out your bitch, get strangled. Get mangled, fucking with this pimpin'. Hot as Lipton, Dre J. Simpson. You better pay attention, it's all gamed up. Keep the bio, the file. See how I came back. I've been out there getting my dough. In the Skoda O and Valley Joe. Getting rich in the rich and San Ho. Grinding and pimpin' hoes. Rolling on roads and two foes. Dre tripper, gotta stay with two hoes. Stay with zippers, boy, I keep a few hoes. Get boss and say, dawg, she goes. I say, read my lips. Bring me cheddar, bitch, bring me chips. Fingertips, ass, hips, and lips. Follow my lead, don't ask questions, bitch. I want fresh bits from Abcom and Fitch. When it's going down, the Mac comes and shit. The Mac comes to spit, let me do it to your ear, baby. I'm tryna flip, see I do it every year, baby. Real off the lottish, getting my cottage. G's, please, bees, freeze, stop it. You're headed down the wrong path. Fuck making love, bitch, I want a tongue bath. And dumb cash, can you do it like me? Cash a back check at the bank with no ID. Can you blow by me when I'm doing 100? Smacking, slapping in my 500. I've been out there getting my dough. In the Skoda O and Valley Joe. Getting rich in the rich and San Ho. Grinding and pimpin' hoes. Rolling on roads and two foes. Dre tripper, gotta stay with two hoes. Stay with zippers, boy, I keep a few hoes. Get boss and say, dawg, she goes. Those friends and lots of women. I ride in the Benz, but I squat the lemon. I want a stuffed turkey with all the trimmings to pay and play extra innings. I'm winning. Fat lady, start singing. I'm finna get the cool nut and start swinging. Skate. Dancing 8 when they run my plates, mile and make, I'ma shake like I'm riding with a cake. Pedal to the metal, rarely hit the brake. I love a high-speed getaway. They wanna get rid of Dre, put the kid away. When I'm in the day, I'm in the 7 Series. It's so quiet you can't even hear the engine when I smash the gas. Look at all that wood on the dash. I've been out there getting my dough. In the Skoda O and Valley Joe. Getting rich in the rich and San Ho. Grinding and pimpin' hoes. Rolling on roads and two foes. Dre tripper, gotta stay with two hoes. Stay with zippers, boy, I keep a few hoes. Get boss and say, dawg, she blows.